Welcome back to the Daytona 500, here where a number of drivers have all fallen out. We're coming up for yellow flag pit stops here. Basically, everybody should pit. We're expecting a lot of these drivers to fall out of the race after this red flag period. Still a lot of cars on the pit road here. Here they all come down pit road here. The 39 is the race leader of Kenny Myatt there. There's the 6 actually stayed out of Ryan Haupt. He's, of course, a lap down, however. Shouldn't be a lot of fuel here. They are going to try and get the 1 car going there. Ooh, a little bit of contact there coming out there. Oh, the 12's coming in! While the 95 is coming out, there's a little bit of contact there between Moore and Myatt there. And Myatt, the leader, coming in, is going to get a lot of left side damage from that. So, not good for him. 15 cars are left for the remaining bit of this race. That's going to be a big thing to watch, as this race has completely gone upside down. 156 to go, and we only have 15 cars duking it out. Didn't really expect that kind of a race, but watch out for this race to get very interesting very quickly. So let's take a look at who's left in this race. Nathan Orman, Ryan Haupt is a lap down. Sean Ard on the lead lap. Cicerelli bracketed, who caused that incident, a lap down. Ozkin, Logan, Davidson has front-end damage. Myatt's got left-side damage from pit road contact. Quentin Moore, Colin Gallagher. Kitsune Hashimoto got back on the lead lap. Diaz is on the lead lap now. Jesse Turner's in it. Leon Campana has a little bit of front-end damage. Joshua Drake has a lot of rear-end damage to that car. And I believe DJ Curtis might have gotten away without damage, but at a really slow pit stop. This race is going to pick up very quickly, and it's going to be interesting. Well, I don't know if it's going to pick up for a while. We lost the majority of the field, so I think it'll actually get into a little bit of a pit strategy game, if you ask me. Nathan Orman leads the field of 15 remaining cars back to the green here, and away we go after a massive pileup took out the majority of the field here. That's your field right there, and you've got a lot of cars there that are all going to be struggling to get up to speed here, with a lot of cars that are, quite frankly, doomed to do anything here, as Ryan Haupt and Baracketed are trying to get back on the lead lap, hoping that there's a yellow. This race is very different than a normal super speedway now, considering that everybody and their mother now is going to be hunting for draft. DJ Curtis doesn't have any damage on his car, but has lost the pack simply, or might lose the pack simply because of damage issues. All of these cars will get points this weekend, it looks like, for Daytona, simply because they avoided the big one. But DJ Curtis, I think, is going to lose the lead pack there. So the reigning champion's going to lose the lead pack there. I believe he is... No, Hashimoto's a Joe Gibbs Racing car here, as Orman now is trying to re-lap Ryan Haupt there. Of course, that is not what Haupt wants to see happen to him there. As, yes, definitely DJ Curtis has lost the pack here. So watching out for DJ Curtis. I think Curtis is going to have to hope for a miracle, if you ask me. As they rocket down the straightaway here, the 2 car of Ozkin going to second position there. Kenny Myatt, the leader there when the caution came out. Well, he wasn't the leader there because Freeze was the leader. But what happened is Myatt now has fallen all the way back to the back of the leading group here. Don't want to do that too often here. And the back of the leading group is 9th position, so that just shows you kind of, or actually it's 10th position. So only 10 cars right now have a chance to win this race, it looks like, as the 39 of Quentin Moore in the McClure team going for a second there on Nathan Orman here. It's still a pretty aggressive race there with only 15 cars, though. And now Matthew Logan, along with DJ Curtis, has lost the pack here on lap 53, along with Kenny Myatt and Baracketed. So right now it is a very difficult field at the front of the field, with Hashimoto leading over Ozkin. However, Zayden Davidson is holding up the entire field here. Lots of Fords still in this race. Not a lot of Chevys left in this one, if you ask me there. As now Davidson is holding up the entire inside line there. And now their whole plans of trying to help each other out of manufacturers out the window with one humongous wreck. So, got to be very careful about the way that this race is going to turn out going forward. And because of that, we've got a couple of cars that have fallen off the pack as well, like Quentin Moore, Colin Gallagher, Jesse Turner, Sean Ard, and now Myatt and Baracketed actually might catch up to this group. But right now, this race is very much a slipstream fest now to see who you can get your partners with especially if this field spreads itself out further with pit stops. That could be a factor in this race. But now the pack is reconvening because the field is held up behind Leon Campana and now Joshua Drake. And oh, Campana goes to the high line there, holds up Ormond up there, but here comes Gallagher and Turner to the field now. DJ Curtis has now been lapped by the leading group here by lap 63, and this is where things are going to get pretty interesting because now, like I said, there's not a ton of cars that are left in a real race-winning contention. You got Kenny Myatt in 9th, and then Matthew Logan in 10th, and they're the only cars left on the lead lap, and they're outside of the pack, so they're going to eventually get lapped at this rate, too. It's going to come down to a big pit stop game the rest of this race to see who's going to win it, because there just simply isn't any cars left in this race. Due to some drafting issues with some of the pack members in a slow car, both Diaz and Turner and the lap car of Curtis have fallen off the lead group, so they're going to be another 3 cars to watch to possibly get lapped later on. It's all going to come down to pit strategy, though, I believe. Quentin Moore was the first driver to make a move onto the pit road to try and pit early here, but he came all by himself, so that's going to hurt him in the long run. Tough break for him, I believe. Now Joshua Drake and Zayden Davidson are also coming in. Of course, they're damaged and just trying to hold on and get as many positions as they can. I'm expecting Hashimoto and possibly Haupt to come in, the lap car of Haupt to come in this time. Not looking like it this time, though. Looks like, oh, Ormond's coming in there. Ormond's coming in by himself. Looks like Diaz is coming in as well in the 16 car. And gotta give credit where credit's due. That 95 has not lost as much speed as I thought he would have by now. But he is kind of running by himself out there. Campana also in the race still as well. And now the majority of the leaders are all rolling down pit road. So watch for Kitsune Hashimoto, and this is not what those drivers that pitted early wanted to see. They wanted to see everybody come in at separate times there to make it a bit easier for everybody else, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case for them. Like Ormond, Diaz, etc. They're going to have to all work their hardest to get back into this race because that means another driver, being Nathan Ormond, is probably going to lose the pack, as is Diaz. After 88 laps of running, here is the running order. After pit stops, you have Hashimoto and Gallagher as the leading 2 with Haupt in 3rd. Campana, or not Haupt, Haupt's a lap down, 3rd car in line. Campana is running 15th with Ozkin and 2 lap cars and the lap car of Bracketed. Ormond is down there as well. Jeremy Diaz and Sean Ard are currently battling for position, trying to keep up and pass the lap car of Logan. Drake is in 14th. Turner, Moore, and Curtis are all drafting with each other, and Kenny Myatt is all by himself on the track, about to get lapped by the Hashimoto and Gallagher brigade. Gallagher would dive to the lead as they catch a lap car of his cousin, Kenny Myatt, in the lead of this, Kenny Myatt is the lapped car in this race, so it's a 2-car battle at the front of the field with 3rd and 4th being Ozkin and Ormond quite a ways back, almost 7 seconds back. It just shows kind of what this race has turned into, where you've got to have your partners right now to try and get going here. The biggest pack right now is the leading group, and it will probably stay that way. At the halfway mark, they've also picked up Jesse Turner into the lead group after some pit stop cycles here. The leaders haven't pitted yet, but everybody else is bringing it down pit road here, as right now it's a 2-car battle between Hashimoto and Gallagher here. But don't count on any of those cars that are still on the lead lap. After the pit stops, Gallagher would come out of the pits before Hashimoto here. Ormond is coming out without his drafting partner. Ormond is, of course, the leader so far in this race right now because, no, he was the leader actually coming into this, but Ormond, because his pit box is before that, the start-finish line, however, Ormond is quite a ways down the order. He is, of course, drafting with Ozkin, and Ozkin's trying to carry Drake around as well. So it's going to be a massive clawback for those 2 drivers. So after another pit stop cycle, it's Gallagher, Hashimoto, Myatt. Haupt is battling with Turner. This is actually a lap down battle here between Haupt and Turner. With Bracketed, Ormond, Ozkin, Bracketed and Ozkin are back drafting with each other. 5th place is all the way down with Diaz and Ard as well. The yellow flag would fly for debris, and so that would be Colin Gallagher, Kitsune Hashimoto, Myatt's still a lap down. But all these drivers are going to get re-bunched up again here with Ozkin and Ormond having a shot at this once again. Diaz is out there with Ard. Campana's out there as well. So right now we are on lap 130. And right now for the Daytona 500, we don't actually have that many cars left in this race. Or we don't have a lot of cars that have a shot to win this race yet. A lot of cars are still a lap down. A lot of really quick cars a lap down. When the green flag flies again here, it is Colin Gallagher in the lead with Kitsune Hashimoto in second as the field is all trying to get going here. All the lead lap cars are just trying to keep up into this pack here to fight for the lead here as Gallagher and Hashimoto have dominated this race so far. And that has been a very hard-fought battle for a lot of drivers right now, just trying to make sure that they can get back on the lead lap. They all have a shot now to at least attempt to get back a lap or two, or get back a lap here and hope for another yellow, but the way it's been, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon here. And now, the 00 is still in the lead of this race, with his cousin behind him, Hashimoto in second, and a little further back, 3rd place is all the way back with Jeremy Diaz now, with help from Sean Ard. That pair has really gotten going as well, so they've all had to try and deal with Josh Drake there, who's been very, very slow as the 2 lap cars of Haupt and that would be Logan are trying to get up to speed here. They're, of course, battling with each other and Jesse Turner for position on track as Hashimoto and Gallagher still lead this race. As of now, Jesse Turner would actually be the leader of the race with Jeremy Diaz now, or getting his lap back. Turner would be with Jeremy Diaz and Ozkin up to second and up to first and second there. As now you've got a real kind of volatile pack at the front of the field now, just all trying to get themselves to race as hard as they can. As here goes Diaz now trying to lap the 12 car of Turner there. And now Ozkin's going for the lead as well, so it's all about how well you've stayed onto the lead lap throughout this race. And hopefully these drivers can still fight for a victory. Turner now is trying to get his lap back as Hashimoto leads the race on the outside with Ozkin. However, Diaz is on the inside trying to get going here. Looks like Diaz is going to get at least a little bit of a spot here as take over the lead of the race from Hashimoto. That's what you're going to need to do here, is just play the lap traffic correctly if you're going to win this race at this point in it. We are past the 3/4 of the distance mark. And now, oh, here comes Ozkin now down low for the lead of the race. They're coming up to the lap cars of Davidson, Campana, and Moore. Well, because, of course, Moore is a number of laps ahead there. As, oh, Turner's going to get held up here. Whoever goes to the high line is going to have a big run here. Hashimoto goes. Oh, now the low line's where you're going to want to be as the entire lap cars went to the high side. Turner's going to get by 2 of them there. That's going to be what determines this race, is going to be how you deal with lap cars, and the remaining pit strategy in this race is going to be very important here. They get more now. Diaz has actually got a really quick car, Jeremy Diaz does. And now Sean Ard now down low, looking for every bit of spot he can. The big loser in that whole lap traffic was Colin Gallagher. The dominant car of the day so far has now lost the pack. And now the race is really starting to heat up here, as we might have lost one of the leading contenders in this race here. Hashimoto is still in the lead pack, though. Funny thing is, Turner probably has the best car out of anybody in the group. We got a crash! Here we go! Turner's around! Myatt's around! That's going to be another yellow. That's going to save Gallagher there. And I saw, obviously, the lap car of Drake went around there as well. That's going to be a yellow flag. This is, of course, again, another caution, another on pit stop strategy. Gallagher's in the grass once again there. Ooh, I heard more crashing on track as well. That's Drake now, and Ozkin now is in that one. So Ozkin gets a piece in that as well. So we got another accident on track. Yeah, Drake just isn't paying attention. It comes right up into Turner. Diaz gets a piece of it. There goes the 95 around. Then further up the track, just Hashimoto nearly gets into Diaz again there. Not going to be a great view here because of the barriers there, but around they go on this track, and just a lot of contact there that could have gone a lot worse. Here it is again, and just not a whole lot anyone could, well, other than Drake paying attention a little better, not much anyone's going to do about that. So with this, we're going to have more cars that are probably going to fall out of the race here as Kenny Myatt is on this track here on lap 162. And we're just going to see Drake's just not paying attention there. And in front of the field, just Myatt gets the worst of that damage there. Turner got a big piece of it as well. Oh, boy. They were, of course, fighting for lapped traffic issues there. You got to also keep in mind, Samet Ozkin had already pitted as well here. And again, Drake just not paying attention here, comes back up the track, and Ozkin has to run into him because Drake has no clue where he's going. So, again, a lot of rather silly incidents today that were kind of unwarranted. So after the pit stops, Gallagher is going to continue to lead this, or is going to get back into the lead of the race because he had the fastest pit stop. Ormond is second, Art is third, fourth is Diaz, and fifth is Hashimoto. Now that Ozkin's fallen out of the race, and you're going to go a long way back to find sixth. I believe sixth is Ryan Haupt a lap down. Seventh is Turner, who is damaged in a lap down. And I don't even know where eighth is in this race. I believe eighth is a car that's already fallen out of the race. So we got to reorder the field here coming this time. Now it is DJ Curtis, I believe, is in eighth. Who actually doesn't have, I think, much damage there, but he is 2 laps down simply because he didn't... no, it's not DJ Curtis. It's somebody else in that pack. I believe it's actually the Matthew Logan car. My apologies there, as Ormond now is trying to take over second position in this race, as everybody's trying to get by Quentin Moore. Diaz is very slow on track. Diaz is being held up by lapped cars. And Hashimoto is as well, so Diaz and Hashimoto have got to get going because Davidson didn't get going. And Haupt now is going to be the key there for the leading three. Is Haupt quick enough to pull these lead lap cars there? Ooh, Turner and Hashimoto make contact there. Of course, Turner's got to be slow as well. Maybe not. Hashimoto would catch the leading group, however, Diaz would not. Stuck with Logan, and Moore there is going to have to hope for another yellow with 30 to go in this race to have a chance at the great American race here. On this track now, Hashimoto, Ormond, and Gallagher with Ard are in the top 4 here. It's going to be one of those 4, I think, unless if Diaz can close in somehow. And if it goes green the rest of the way, they will need to make a pit stop, but Diaz has officially lost the peck, and I believe Ard has as well, so it's going to be a 3-car field with his teammate Colin Gallagher, Nathan Ormond, and Hashimoto at the front of the field. Those 3 drivers are going to duke it out here. However, there is going to be some lap traffic to worry about once again. But it's funny now because Ryan Haupt is the fastest car on the track now, despite him being a lap down. So it's all going to come down to whoever can manage these pit stops the best is going to win this race, I think, and get the best drafting help, I think. Because if any of these drivers on that last pit stop, if it stays green the rest of the way, makes a mistake on their pit stop, they're doomed. Haupt, which is leading the leading pack, even though he's a lap down, is going to get held up by Bracketed here. And, well, that's going to cause Colin Gallagher to get the lead on the inside of Hashimoto and Ormond. Ormond's card looks the slowest of the leading 3. So, got to keep that in mind as this race keeps progressing. Forward DJ Curtis is, of course, a number of laps down, 5 laps down. Not been a good day for poor Nathan, or for poor DJ Curtis, the reigning champion. Although, basically, if you're still running, it's a good day. You're going to get good points out of it. So, now you have Diaz has got some pretty steady help, though, from Logan. He's not pulling on anybody, but if they pit together, and if the leading groups don't make mistakes on their pit stop, there's still a shot. With 9 laps to go, will the gamble pay off for Joe Gibbs Racing to fire Kenny Myatt and put Kitsune Hashimoto in the car? Will will it be a big mistake? Will it be for Joe Gibbs Racing not putting their original developmental driver, Colin Gallagher, in the car? Or will Nathan Ormond, who has virtually no experience in any kind of stock car, he came straight up from late models, win this race? I don't know, but it looks like it's going to be one of those 3 right now, but it's all going to come down to, I think, this last pit stop that's coming up here. There's only a handful of laps to go, and there's probably going to be another pit stop in this race. They're coming up to lap Jesse Turner again here. Gallagher and Orman pit, but it looks like Hashimoto stays out, and Haupt is not with Hashimoto, so it's probably going to come down to one of those two. Ard and Diaz have caught each other now, but Ard's going to make it down pit road. Diaz is not. Ard's going to have Quentin Moore with him. However, this could benefit Hashimoto here. Jesse Turner and the 6 battling or drafting with each other here. Could they catch Kitsune Hashimoto and help him out to win this race? Hashimoto, we think, is pitting this time. Hashimoto doesn't make the move to the pits, but Turner does. Could Hashimoto have saved enough gas, is my question. Who else needs to stay? Who else is staying out? Looks like a number of drivers. Is Diaz coming in, is my big question now. Diaz stays out. My question is can anybody save enough gas to keep going in this race? I believe Hashimoto's going to have to pit, but maybe Hashimoto saved up enough fuel. We do know the Toyotas are better on fuel economy than anybody else, but oh, and now with Haupt on the inside, doesn't look like Hashimoto's that intent on pitting. Can Hashimoto oh, Hashimoto is coming in this time. So now Orman is in front of Gallagher now. 3 rookies are leading this race, or were leading this race. What's Diaz doing? Diaz is coming in. Where is the 5th car of Ard? Ard is quite a ways behind Gallagher and Orman. Orman and Gallagher are fighting for position now, but they're going to come out with Jesse Turner, a slow-lapped car. Turner stays out of the way as Gallagher goes for the lead. Where is Hashimoto going to come out in this? Hashimoto's coming out with Ryan Haupt. That is a good drafting tandem there. Campana could be a factor. Campana and Davidson could be a factor for these two. Gallagher and Ormond are closing in. Remember, these 2 cars have had less fuel than everybody else. They need less fuel. I think Hashimoto might have just stolen it based on pure pit strategy card there. Gallagher and Orman don't have long left to catch Hashimoto in the leading pack. There's Gallagher back there. There's Orman. They've got to get by these lap cars quickly here with 3 to go. Orman doesn't look like he's going to. But Gallagher is trying every bit of move he can to catch up here. He has the help now. Can he get this slingshot to catch up to Kitsune Hashimoto? He's going to have to use Ryan Haupt. And he has the run of a century coming up here. Actually had to slow down in the corner there because he was carrying too much speed. 2 laps to go for Kitsune Hashimoto in the lead of this race. Now, is Ryan Haupt going to play the manufacturer card here? Orman's done, basically. Orman did not get a good run around the lapped car. What is Haupt going to do? Gallagher is there on Hashimoto. These 2 drivers do not like each other at all. White flag coming out for Kitsune Hashimoto. Will Gibbs's play be a smart one? There are no lapped cars in front of Hashimoto. Haupt is going to let Gallagher get to the inside of him, but is there enough time? I don't think there is. I think Kitsune Hashimoto is going to win this race and write his name in the annals of history, but Gallagher is still there. Don't count him out yet. Is Haupt going to make a last-second charge with him? I do not think there's time. I really don't. It's going to be Kitsune Hashimoto coming off of turn 4 here at Daytona to win. Though, maybe not yet, but that's going to be it. Right there, Kitsune Hashimoto is going to win the Daytona 500 in his first ever start, making Joe Gibbs kind of look like a genius there. In a very, very strange Daytona 500 where cars had fallen out, two huge accidents at the start of it, a third accident later, and a debris yellow, so a 4-caution Daytona 500 where pit strategy meant a lot. And Kitsune Hashimoto wins Stock Car's biggest single race prize and gets a playoff berth. Let's take a look at your full finishing results. So Kitsune Hashimoto wins the Daytona 500, with second going to Colin Gallagher, third going to Orman, fourth going to Jeremy Diaz, and fifth going to Sean Ard. Those were the only 5 cars on the lead lap. Haupt 6th, Turner 7th, Logan 8th, Moore 9th, bracketed 10th, Curtis 11th, Campana 12th, Davidson 13th, with Myatt, the first car, out in 14th, 15th to Oskin, 16th to Drake, 17th to Parachiki, 18th to Monaco, 19th to Halleck, 20th to Tanker. Those are the cars getting points today. Fitzwater in 21st, Tucker in 22nd, Napier in 23rd, Freeze in 24th, Daniel Henry in 25th, Blake in 26th, Otts in 27th, Bouchard in 28th, Dunbar in 29th, 30th for Rowe, 31st for Shepard, 32nd for Anderson, 33rd for Shimamura, 34th for Jacob Hart, 35th for Logan, 36th for Franco Lopez, 37th for Casey Nanico, 38th for LaRousse, 39th for Monaco, 40th for Noah Hart, 41st for Daniel Voiles, and 42nd for Cody Lamas. Not a great start for either of those two championship contenders at the bottom of the grid. But it's a great day for Joe Gibbs Racing. They are the victors today. Congratulations to them. Let's take a look at your points. So the way this championship's going to work is, the way this points table works is any driver listed in gold has a playoff locked in, and they get 1,000 points, because that's the way that the championship is going to be determined, is if you're given a, if you're given the points that you're needed there, if you win a race and are in the playoffs, you get an extra 1,000 points that are added on to what your actual score is, or that is going to be, you get an extra 1,000 bonus points there. So Hashimoto is in the playoffs. Colin Gallagher is in second. Third goes to Orman in the championship with 35. Fourth to Diaz. Fifth to Ard. Sixth to Haupt. And it goes down by 2. So Turner, Logan, Moore, bracketed, and Curtis down that order there. Then it goes down by 1 after Curtis. So Campana, Davidson, Myatt, Oskin, Drake. Noah Hart gets 5 points for his pole. Parachiki, Monaco, Halleck, and Tanker round out the drivers with points, and everybody down here has zippity-doo-dah in terms of points, leaving the Daytona 500. However, there's still a long season to go coming up here. The next race of the championship is going to be the Peach State 200 at the Middle Georgia Speedway, located located in Georgia, obviously. It is going to be a short track race, so the super speedway ovals to a short track, that's the big thing that a lot of drivers are going to have to wonder about going forward. But like I said, congratulations to Kitsune Hashimoto in his first start, winning on debut, winning the largest stock car race in the world. He's won Le Mans before, and now he's won Daytona. So Hashimoto could be a very, very interesting contender for this championship, and Joe Gibbs looks like a genius for getting rid of Myatt. With that being said, we'll see ya for the Peachtree 200 next week.